Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome to some Cubic Odyssey. Today I'm going to talk about optimizing the start of the game. So at the release of this video, it should be about 24 hours before the game goes live. So I've decided to put together just a little showcase on not the quickest way, but to try to expedite your way in getting into space and getting off of the first planet here, because I think the first planet is actually quite boring. That's having played the demo quite a bit, right? 12 or 13 hours worth of play in the demo and played through it about 3 different times now. So getting your ship up and going can take, a 2.5 hours the first time through. It's very enjoyable doing it the first time around, but the meat of the game doesn't really start until you get into space. So I wanted to try and throw something out there to get you all up to that point a little bit quicker. So this is I think the second thing I did on a speed run, my second attempt at a speed run here, and it's about 45 minutes to get the ship fully unlocked. So not too bad, but just wanted to talk about some of the things. So the first aim is to get the Mark II extractor, and we want to kind of rush to get to there before we do a lot of mining and such, because it's more efficient to use the Mark II, as well as you can collect the tier 2 ores that you need to move forward as well. So we'll put something up on the screen here hopefully, but I've got the numbers here collected. So you need 14 leaves, but the whole run to get the ship unlocked, you'll need 20, and there's not really much of a difference in collection between the Mark I and the Mark II, so you can get all 20 leaves right at the start. And this is without any extra bandages if you're going to be taking any damage. You need at least 11 wood, but probably close to 25, so that you can get so you can make more coal to process your ingots. You need 9 dirt, 18 stone, plus the 2 that I make to get to the steps to the second floor. Probably if you're speed running this first world, you could, if you do it good enough and you get lucky with some of your things, you probably don't need to be on the second floor, because you can get out of off the first planet halfway through the first night or so, right? If you can get it done within 35 to 40 minutes. So you probably don't need to be up on the second floor, but I had made a habit of it since my first playthrough, so that's why I was up on the second floor here. So we'll also need 4 iron ore, 4 copper ore, and 3 aluminum ore, so that those double when you process them. So you need like 8 iron ingots, 8 copper ingots, and 6 aluminum ingots. And then 3 sand, of which 1 of those sand you need to process into the glass sheets. So this is where we're popping down to get the first bit of sand, but we should probably get 7 sand in total while we're here, just because the next mining push will bring us back down there anyways, and we can collect the rest of the 25 sand total that we need to get the ship unlocked at that point. So 7 sand is what you need with the Mark I on your way to getting the tier 2 extractor, which we should have here in just a couple of seconds. You see I did make 2 chests and 2 extractors. Those numbers are all included in what I had just talked about there. So I do make a couple of mistakes in this, so there's definitely some improvement to move forward. There are no seeds for the world. It's not procedurally generated, but the layouts of the worlds might change for game versions, so the locations of things and the recipes also might change for the release. I don't know, but from the playthroughs that I've been watching so far, People don't do the route that I do, so I can't tell that everything is exactly, except for in the first ship area here. But I'm pretty sure everything is still set in stone, but the actual release build might be different. But now that we've got that tier 2 extractor, we come down here and get the rest of the ores that are exposed, and our first tier 2, which is the tin, which is actually the hardest one to find. You do need how many tin? I didn't even write it down. 6 tin ore. But in the cave that I use to get all of my most of my ores, there isn't any tin in it. So you kind of have to probably do some scanning with the droid, and having that 1 tin in the starting area is big because you can select to search for the tin ore with your robot, right? So that's a big part of it there. So we needed some more charcoal, so I just went and got some extra wood and a few leaves while I was there as well, which actually come in handy throughout the play, because I do take almost die in 2 instances on this run. Obviously, if you spoilers if you know about it, the first fight where you go into the red darkness, and also going into the cave is a little bit dangerous, and I almost die there. Silver is very, very abundant in the starting area here, so if you're just randomly looking for tier 2 ores, you're probably generally only going to find the silver. But coming up here, we can find there's a little bit of iron in the side here, but our first silicon is here as well. So now that we found that silicon, we only need 3 of it total to get out of the first thing. And here's that iron that I was talking about, where we need on top of the 4 iron ore to start, we needed another 15 to get further on. So iron is quite like one of the biggest ones that we need. And I forgot to dump some stuff into my chest there, so I had to delete some things out of my inventory. But there's a lot of silver down here that we don't need, and a lot of aluminum. We don't need all of the aluminum that we can find down here, and there's easier stuff to get than this here, so probably not worth spending the time on that aluminum there. But down here there's some more easy aluminum to get, and we end up with more than we need, so probably didn't need to spend that much time on that first little clump of aluminum that we had seen there. But this is there's a fairly sizable cave system here, and just as we come up, there's a little branch that goes off to the left and down, which is what we want to take. And down here we're going to find the rest of the silicon we need. Well, all of the silicon we need is here, but we got to watch out for that enemy up top. So if he doesn't shoot at you right away, you can sneak in and underneath him and get here. Without that, just be prepared to block up when we get over here, because we don't have a jetpack yet. And then from here we need to go up a little bit and across a narrow ledge. Good, to get across this chasm here. And in this next section, we'll encounter 3 more enemies. So the long tangled vine guy, and then 2 more missile plants, or whatever they're called, in this next open area coming up here that we've got to be careful of. Which we just take them out with a shock stick. Is the easiest thing, since the beginner weapon is so very horrible. But here's the gold that we need. We need 4 gold ore, and there's 5 here, so we end up with more than what we need. And even if you proc your mining skill, you can end up with a little bit extra as well. That copper that we see on that opposite wall over there is probably needed, and I passed by some more iron as well in there. So if you slow down the video, you can probably see that there, and that's definitely needed for the run. But here we just get up more than we need on the rest of the sand, and we're gonna head back to base and start processing some of this stuff. And like I mentioned before, we're woefully low on the tin, so we'll probably have to start using our QB to start searching for it. But I don't think in this run here I do that until I realize I need it, because I think I just forgot about it. But definitely need to be on the lookout for that. So we start processing our ores. A third what are they called? Refiner is probably a good idea here, but because we went through the cave and I didn't get a lot of dirt and stone out of my mining shenanigans, I don't have the resources to make it, so that is what it is. But a third, if you do have 10 extra seconds, probably a third refiner is probably well needed at this point right now to process all of these ores into the ingots that we need to do the crafting, right? Because here I'm kind of stuck waiting to be able to process some more sand into glass so that I can make more mirrors for the armory that we need here. Killing some of those hostile fauna gives us the energy cores, which are a decent replacement for coal, but only in the fact that they're free, right? We don't have to spend any resources to get it. We just have to kill enemies and get lucky on a drop to get them. And I know that there's a back button, but I just quickly go over to the recipe list rather than always go to the smaller back button that's just above the picture of the thing that you're trying to craft. So just cleaning up the last few little initial gear quests here, and this is where we realize we're looking for tin, so the big search goes on for the rest of that that we needed, right? It was 6 tin ore in total that we need to get out of here, so definitely should be spending the QB energy a little bit smarter, because in this run here I end up having to kill time waiting for his energy to replace to be able to search for more tin, because they only come in one shots here, and just like extra gold and silver stuff that we don't need kicking around down beneath our base here. Another tip for searching for some of these ores is kind of once you've done about 3 or maybe 4 scans from inside this structure here, you'll have found all of the ores within the range that QB's tier 1 scanner can find. So you'll notice here I do some scans that don't give me anything because the scan is based around your location, not where QB is. And in this playthrough, QB was kind of over close by my crashed ship, and he was scanning over there, but he only looks in the radius around the player, and I'm not 1,000% on that, but I'm pretty sure with the things, because there was indeed ores underneath the ship, but not exactly, or not anywhere around the base anymore. Definitely not tin anyways. Which is the only thing that we're interested in. Tin and a little bit more extra iron I think I needed at the end of this run, because we needed the 6 ingots for this guy, which we did have, but getting the rest of the components, I think I fell short by one more piece of iron, one more iron ore that is. And the other thing that I didn't get in this run was the meteor that falls for the tutorial. The cutscene definitely didn't play for it, but I think I jumped over it, if you noticed there when I was on my way back from the speed bike. I do suggest that you go down and grab everything from down there, like at least get 100 stone and 100 dirt, so that you can have a stack of each of those for when you leave this planet, just so you don't have to grab it when you get to the next planet and start building up your base, right? So that you can get your refiners, you can get some extra clay and base resources that you need to progress once you get to the second planet, which is where you should probably set up your next main base. It doesn't need to be anywhere in particular because you can set up the teleporters, right? So in the second, this is spoilers, but in the second planet, you definitely want to have a teleporter in the ancient ruin where the there's an intergalactic teleporter there, whereas most, like the teleporters that we're going to build here just right now after we fix our bike, can only work within one planet. The other ones can work between star systems, and you want to have your base on those, like when you're setting up your other bases on other planets, you definitely want to have them on a planet with one of those structures that has those interdimensional things. Otherwise, you're going to be doing a lot of traversing by the spaceship, through warp gates and whatnot to be able to get back and forth between your bases, whereas you can just instantly teleport there and not have to waste that amount of time, flying from the planets up into space and then to the space teleporter thing. And then moving forward from there. So those are just the hints that I've gotten from watching some of the early release play that is out there. It was pretty interesting putting all that together without having to play it myself, so you're not going to see any of that here. And I probably won't cover that moving forward because myself will just be doing a more relaxed Let's Play on YouTube here. Moving forward, maybe do some tips and tricks videos, like maybe I'll also do one for some of the various appliances that they don't give you in the base tutorial here, like things like the item recycler and the mod installer and those kinds of things that are they're going to play an important role moving forward. But not, they don't give you the proper walkthrough. What am I looking for? Tutorial for them. That's what I'm thinking of. So here's the main dangerous part of the mission. So once this big guy comes out, you kind of want to stay out of his range of his blast things. And just use your shock stick to kill the little guys. And you can see there we kind of got lucky that we hid in the building and then popped out just as he was about to die. We survived with 1 heart left there. And just do not do this section too fast. Wait for the prompts and follow the instructions in the top left. I did on my first run, I did this too fast and I botched it and I had to do it again because I came out of the portal too fast without waiting for the proper steps in the quest progression to line up properly. And then just make sure that we buy 2 circuit boards before we leave the town here, before we go on. And then I remember there being some ores in the walls here, but it's just a couple of pieces of iron that we need. But there's only gold and silver in the walls here, so no real need to get those going on, because this is, as I said, just the second quote-unquote speed run that I did for here. And there was a space pirate at my base when I left there, which is why I did that quick scan to see if he was still there. But it seems that some enemies do despawn. So I'm guessing that enemies that belong to like quest progression or checkpoint progression do not despawn when you go away. Like things like pirate bases or their little ancient ruin structures. Those guys don't despawn. But the random encounter enemies can despawn, like the hostile flora, and then the random pirates that show up when your nighttime, or eventually I believe they start appearing at all times of the day too, with separate raids when the ships come down from the thing. We did end up short on a couple of pieces of copper, which is why I mentioned it a little bit earlier in that one cave. There was 3 pieces, maybe more, in that one wall before we had just left. So I remembered this piece that was here in the beginning area that I didn't get. So that was that one there, and I think I needed another one, which this is the part where I scuffed the use of QB, and I'm just basically collecting coal here because I'm waiting for QB to recharge before I do another look for coal, for more copper, which is just down there, so not too far away, but that was the last of the ore that's in that little section there. So basically, in a nutshell, that is the opening speed run, and we did get through that in not too shabby time. It's 45 minutes, so it's nothing super spectacular. Like I said, I definitely made some mistakes not collecting the 3 copper in that cave, and we do need extra tin. So if you know where tin is in the starting area, put it in the comments below, and that'll help out other people that are looking to get up into space as fast as possible. Oh yeah, we gotta wait for some more tin here, so let's fast forward a bit. And yeah, this is where I spend like 2 to 3 minutes, I think, or longer, just trying to get the last couple of resources we needed to finish off the spaceship. So there we got the spaceships required, all fixed up, and just about 45 minutes. Anyways, that's my little take on the initial start of this game, and then getting off this first planet as quickly as possible, because you don't have access to all of the resources here, so it's a lot better to start your exploration and setting up a permanent base on the second planet, because you also have the interdimensional portal there, which you can use as you progress the story. Once you get to like the 3rd star system, then you can get you can free up another ancient ruin to get you access to the 2nd portal, and that's probably where you want to put your second main base, right? Because we're not counting the base on this first planet as a main base, but on the 2nd planet, it's where you want to set up your first one. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the beginning of the game. I hope you all enjoy the release, which is coming out here in about a day. I appreciate you all, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!